Coming up on Wavelength, the board approves a new budget and a pay raise. LCRA adopts a plan to improve safety at Windy Point, and LCRA employees shake, rattle, and roll. Those stories and much more next on Wavelength.
From the Lower Colorado River Authority, this is Wavelength.
Hi everybody and welcome to Wavelength. For the last 2 years, LCRA has held the line on budgets with little or no new spending. This year's budget, however, while still streamlined, does provide additional spending in some key areas. The board approved a budget that focuses on the employee and which provides spending for some needed projects. For instance, the budget provides $10 million for the construction of a natural gas storage field near Bastrop. It will also provide $6 million to be paid to wholesale customers for transmission lines they have built that serve the LCRA system as a whole. And it provides about $4 million for employee wage and benefit increases. The budget, however, is contingent upon approval of our rate case currently before the Public Utility Commission. But a decision by the PUC is not expected until October or November.
So we'll march on and proceed on our budget, but we'll review it each quarter with the Board of Directors, and we'll look at it again when the PUC makes its final decision. It means that management needs to approach the budget conservatively, doing the things that we said we were going to do and getting our work started, but not looking for any areas for extra spending. I would say that it was going to be very difficult to get a budget amendment, for example, until we know what the PUC finally says on our revenues and on our rates.
Rose says he feels the new budget accomplishes what is needed for the coming year.
I think most folks at LCRA feel like that they have plenty to do, and if you take the initiatives of the last 3 years, we're still in the stage of getting things done that we've started. So I don't think this is the time for new initiatives. I view this as being a period of consolidation and everybody just working really hard to do well everything that's already been assigned to them.
Something new that will be coming this year for LCRA employees is Focal Point Review, a common review period of about 3 months during which all employee evaluations will be done rather than on individual anniversary dates.
Swimmers, floaters, divers, boaters, sightseers, and jet skiers. They all come to Bob Wentz Park at Windy Point on a sunny Saturday afternoon. And that, according to some, is the problem. Too many activities in the same water space, specifically motorized craft passing through waters packed with swimmers. But after several complaints and numerous incidents involving motorized watercraft at the park, the Travis County Commissioners Court asked LCRA for a ban on jet skis at Windy Point.
Last year,
LCRA held a public hearing at Lake Travis to get input from the people who use the park.
I know if you had enforcement, you give these people tickets, you won't have a problem. But yes, and these things are dangerous to the windsurfers. It is a very tight area. I believe if you had a designated area for the launching and coming back with these craft away from the swim zone, that would solve a lot of problems.
He's right, there's an enforcement problem. The enforcement problem is that there's too many motorized craft in a small area being allowed to launch. In fact, I would like to ask the county to not only continue to support LCRA and continue to ask them to ban any jet ski rentals, but also to take the stance that the Windy Point Advisory Committee has recommended to the Commissioners Court and ban all motorized craft from launching at Windy Point.
Motion and second.
At this month's board meeting, directors approved a plan that will establish areas for swimming and scuba diving only, a sail area for non-motorized craft such as windsurfers, and a 50-foot wide corridor which will allow motorized craft such as jet skis to launch from shore and proceed out into the open lake beyond sail and swim areas. Travis County will place buoys to mark all of the areas, and violators will be subject to fines of up to $500.
Demand has been extremely heavy for LCRA's first ever Lake Travis boating guide, which we're now distributing. This first-time map is a project between LCRA and KVUE-TV with heavy promotion by Channel 24 Chief Meteorologist Troy Kimmel.
You may know I'm involved in doing a series of special reports on Lake Travis. It airs tonight at 10 o'clock, and one of the greatest things that's come out for those who like to go to Lake Travis and those who have never been to Lake Travis is right here.
I'll tell you what it is. You know, I talked to someone, Dick, last week. This is something very special because it's something we really never had before. KVU 24 and the Lower Colorado River Authority are very proud to announce that we're going to make available free, and that's the best way to make things available, your Lake Travis boating guide.
The Lake Travis Boating Guide is a topographical map of the lake that will help steer boaters away from shallow areas of the lake. It also provides all type of other information, including the location of every marina on the lake and the services available at each that are public, parks information, areas of the lake that have restrictions like no wake, and much more. The free boating guide is available at many marinas and chambers of commerce around the lake, a number of boat shops around Austin, and of course at LCRA and Channel 24.
LCRA's Safe Boating campaign this year simply delivers a serious warning against excessive drinking while boating. Billboards like this are going up at several locations around Lake Travis. The maximum fine for boating while intoxicated is $2,000, and this year more on-the-spot sobriety tests will be given to suspected violators rather than the past practice of sobriety testing after a violation has been committed.
This would be an example of one of their lithics, where it's just a chip off of a piece of chert when they were making a primitive tool of one variety or another.
Over 200 teachers this summer are experiencing archaeology firsthand at LCRA's Kingsland site on Lake LBJ. Teachers from all across the service area have been spending as much as a week at the site learning excavation techniques. Kingsland is a tremendous find, yielding artifacts as much as 10,000 years old.
How will this transform back into the classroom?
The culture business, first of all, how we learn about past cultures and things that they are learning. Plus, in Elgin, there's lots of places where you do find arrowheads and spearheads and stuff like this, and the kids are always bringing them in.
The teachers will use this hands-on experience to develop archaeology units for their classrooms.
This year's Environmental Awards Luncheon was an excellent affair that drew the largest crowd in its 4-year history. This year's winners included Dr. Kent Butler of Austin, who has been the principal author of all the watershed protection ordinances approved by the City of Austin. Cecil Laws, the past president of the Protect Lake Travis Association, received a Lifetime Achievement Award. Keep Austin Beautiful won in the civic category, and the Kingsland Municipal Utility District was the winner in the governmental category. HydroLab of Austin won the business category for their loan of sophisticated and expensive water monitoring equipment to the LBJ Science Academy. Also, 21 wastewater treatment plants along the Colorado River received certificates for meeting all their permit standards throughout 1989. This year's awards presentation was part of an all-day workshop which included seminars on landfill problems, hazardous waste disposal, recycling programs, and river cleanups.
Highway 71 near the Fayette Power Project will be a lot cleaner from now on thanks to the Unit 3 Employee Club. The club recently adopted a 2-mile stretch which they will clean up every 3 months. About 30 people volunteered for the first cleanup and collected bags of trash.
I just like to see the area clean. Central Texas is the cleanest place I've ever lived. So I wanted to just do my part.
Organizer Jennifer Thompson says the next cleanup will be later this summer.
If you were wondering what those 2 trailers were doing over by the environmental building, then you probably missed the opportunity to have a complete physical examination free. A medical group out of Houston has been brought in by the safety department to provide this valuable service.
And already I've seen through one test that after quitting smoking for 2 years, that has improved dramatically.
According to Senior Safety Specialist Keith Smith, about 65% of the employees in the Austin area participated in the program. The medical teams will be back later in the year to serve the power plants, hydro units, and other LCRA facilities. Some LCRA employees have a spectacular view from their workplace. But there are no elevators to this office, and if something goes wrong, it's a long way down. That's why the LCRA Safety Department put together this Tower Rescue Training course.
You know, we require these people to do this work on top of these towers as high as 350 feet. We've been very fortunate that nobody's ever been hurt up there to where they couldn't climb back down the ladder. We need to be prepared for the event that somebody is incapacitated at the top of the tower and cannot help themselves down.
The 3-day course was designed for LCRA by Roco Rescue, Inc. and includes knot tying and equipment fitting, rappelling over a low wall, then off of the 50-foot platform. The 20-member class also learned how to package an injured worker in a stretcher and lower him to the ground.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I like it. I think it'll help. I think everybody should take it that goes out on the line or on a tower, microwave, or anything. If they go up, they all know how to do this.
Initially, 60 employees from communications, line maintenance, and construction crews will receive the training, followed by periodic refresher courses.
You know, for most of us, just balancing our checkbooks can be quite a challenge. But can you imagine working with millions of dollars every single day? Well, that's exactly what LCRA's Finance Division does.
We got a $6.7 million for June 25th.
The $160 million outstanding at that time?
I've got $4,950,000 that we're rolling today, is that correct?
It's payday, and like clockwork, the checks come rolling off the press. Tomorrow, nearly 2,000 LCRA employees will cash $1 million worth of paychecks. But meeting payroll will be just one of many obligations the Finance Division will have to meet today. By the close of business, another $500,000 will be paid to vendors, and millions of dollars will be invested. It's big business that requires constant attention.
It's the division that is charged with the responsibility of maintaining financial integrity and stability for LCRA.
There are 3 units within the Finance Division. In financial planning, they track how much money will be needed for LCRA's major programs, and then try and figure out the best way to finance them.
A couple projects that are unique in the sense that where their money comes from are the water treatment plants we're looking at. Those are all financed with GIF funds.
The financial planners also track LCRA's debt and twice a year transfer millions of dollars to cover the payment.
Thought I'd touch base with you. We got some money coming your way Friday.
Right.
And right offhand, I've got $47,713,728.12.
And what would happen if LCRA ever missed a payment?
We have a joke about it. The world as we know it would come to an end, because what it would be breaching or breaking our contract with those people who bought our bonds.
Forecasting is also a critical function of the Finance Division. This is the section where analysts figure out how much electricity and water our customers will use down the line, and consequently, how much revenue will come into the agency. The next thing I have to do is get to net generation requirements. These forecasts are used by nearly every division to help plan for future power plants, water facilities, rate increases, and more. And finally, there is the funds management section, which handles all of the banking and investment functions. Here, the day begins by figuring out how much money LCRA has in the bank. The amount that is needed to pay the day's bills is subtracted, and what's left over is invested.
I've got a $2.8 million to June 19th.
The investments have paid off in a big way. Within the past year, LCRA has earned more than $21 million in interest alone. For most of us, working with that kind of money would be sort of intoxicating, but not for these folks.
You know, now we just see a few $1,000s and we say, oh, that's a small check. If it's, you know, 50,000 or so, that's small to us. We think small when we see that amount of money.
So whether it's issuing commercial paper, preparing forecasts, or investing millions, LCRA's finance division is constantly on the move. And thanks to them, paydays keep rolling by.
Well, that's it for this edition of Wavelength. Thanks for being with us. We leave you with some scenes from the General Office Activity Committee Spring Dance. Nature provided perfect weather, La Tapatia, the Mexican food, and the big-time band, the rock and roll.
Yep,